We have no mercy for those that come to disrupt the restoration of this struggle. We don't negotiate with anyone. We will never do that. Because when you do things like that, you encourage the same thing to be inside the government, and they will continue to do what they are doing. They said, added that sex.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you to this amazing platform. Thank you so much for joining me on today's program, and I wish you a very happy new year. Finally, we are now in the year 2025, and as we proceed in the year 2025, we must not forget that we have a lot of responsibilities. Our responsibility in this platform is to give you information and make sure that you have an update on what is going on in Biafra land, more especially things that has to do with the restoration of independent state of Biafra. Today, I am going to share with you a very important video. Please pay attention to this video. In all the information that we see here, you are going to see that they have started again a new deceit to distract us from the restoration of independence of Biafra. We must not be distracted. It is either Biafra or nothing. Mazen Nandekano said it to us, and he has not changed his mind. If anybody tries to insinuate that Mazen Nandekano have changed, that is a lie. Watch this video from beginning to the end. You will understand that the enemies will never give up. And those of us who are focusing on the restoration of Biafra, we must not give up. Do not get distracted, regardless what you hear or what you see. Always remember that it is Biafran first. All eyes must be on the rising sun. Every eye must be on the rising sun. Do not allow yourself to be carried away with things that are happening around you. The restoration of independence state of Biafra is one thing that we must focus on. We have the United States of Biafra now. Let's watch.
All right, let's go back to Senator Ume. He has called for General Gowon to apologize to the Igbo people. Do you think such an apology would truly lead to national reconciliation, or is it merely a symbolic gesture?
Well, apology is just a symbolic gesture. But they say what goes round comes round. Or the massacre that Gowon supervised in the 60s is now happening in its own state. Understand me?
Are you saying karma is involved?
I said what goes round comes around. With what you measured will be measured unto you. So what Gowon did to the South is now been happening to his own people. As we speak, more than 200 communities in Gowon's own state of Plateau. More than 200 communities in Gowon's own state has been captured by the Funanis and renamed into Fufude. Understand me? Communities in Gowon's own state, people are being killed, chased away, and their communities are being renamed into Funani languages, which is Fufude. So I'm happy that he's alive and seeing what is happening. So it is not the core north that fought the Civil War. It is the Benue Plateau people. And look at what is happening in these two states. So God is alive.
Wow, what a way to look at it coming from Mr. Nosigi. Okay, we understand that our virtual guest has finally joined us, and you're welcome to the issues this evening. Hello, good evening. You're welcome to the issues.
Yes, good evening. It's my pleasure to be here.
Okay, Mr. Andrew Ajay, you understand that this is your debut on the issues this evening. And though rather coming, they say, I hope you'll be the fat, patient dog that eats the fattest bone. Okay, okay, We were just talking about the Saro-Wiwa situation, where a group has called for talking about a pardon for Saro-Wiwa and the Ogoni nine that was executed by General Sani Abacha's regime. And they've asked that the Bola Tinubu's administration grant them a state pardon. What do you think about this? Would this change what happened in 1995? Would this change anything for the Ogoni people? Or would this just be a symbolic gesture that means nothing? And the fact that the government is interested in going back to exploration in the Ogoni land, do you think this is just politically motivated because the government wants to meet the OPEC quota, not genuine interest for the Ogoni people?
Well, to be on the program, and I want to just say that for me, it is neither here nor there. What do they call? I think is it strangulation, or how did they, whether they beheaded them or something as at that time. If you grant them pardon now, that it doesn't amount to anything because it will never back this lost life. The military regime led by General Sani Abacha at that time, what he wanted to do. And whatever President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is also talking about now will not undo what Bola Ahmed and what General Sani Abacha did that time. If we still have the immediate family member of Ken Saro-Wiwa and the other Ogoni nine, millions or billions naira for them to share, to eat, buy new, and possibly build new houses. But that does not bring back Ken Saro-Wiwa. That does not undo the fact that that life that was killed that time will be brought back to life. So, like you said during the question you are asking me.
Oh, sorry about that. Though you try to make it, okay? Hopefully you'll be able to join us before the show concludes. Okay, taking a look at, do you agree with Senator Umer's assertion, Mr. Nosuke, that successive Nigerian administrations have treated the Igbo people with contempt? And what practical steps can be taken to address this historical marginalization?
For me, I say where there's no justice, there can never be peace. Understand? Where there's no justice, there can never be peace. And that's one of the reasons why Nigeria is not moving forward, because there's no justice in this country. There's no justice. If they think that they can develop in the absence of justice, it's a waste of time. So, but Igbos have moved on. Igbos as a people have moved on. At the end of the Civil War, no matter how much anybody has in the bank, he was given 20 pounds. Understand me? Those who has thousands of pounds, hundreds of pounds, they were only given 20 pounds. But it is that 20 pounds that has turned into billions. Understand me? It is that 20 pounds given to each of the families that had money in the bank then that has turned into billions. Because Igbos have this can-do spirit. We know Shoyinka said that an Igbo man can squeeze water from the rock. So it is in their DNA. Understand? They do the impossible. So they have moved on. And in Nigeria today, Igbos are not asking for preferential treatment. Understand? Yesterday, Murik said that this that they're not getting anything from this Muslim ticket. Understand? So, which means they were expecting that a Muslim ticket will give them preferential treatment. But Igbos are not asking for preferential treatment in Nigeria. They're not asking for what Igbos are asking, just one thing: live and let live. That is the only thing that Igbos are asking in Nigeria: live and let live. Create an egalitarian society where everybody will have that equal right to do his or her business. Stop discrimination. Stop marginalization. Igbos are not asking for preferential treatment. We are not asking give all this. No, live and let live, an equal society, which is not impossible. But if they cannot do this, understand that create an egalitarian society, Nigeria will never move forward.
Anyway,
what we are saying now, in 20 years to come, people will still be saying that same thing, which means we are still where we are.
You're talking about the calls for Biafra? And or what about even the Yorubas are also asking for their own nation, Yoruba nation?
I said, this are not, this is a result of frustration. Nobody wants to exit Nigeria. It's just out of frustration, assuming that Nigeria is working. As an Igbo man, I prefer being in Nigeria because Nigeria has everything. We have the best weather, or the market, which is over 200 million. Understand me? Diversity. So, but we've not had that good people in power that can transform this into productivity.
Okay, finally, before we go, in your view, why has Gowon been reluctant to provide a detailed account of his role in the Nigerian Civil War? Are we expecting a book, or is it like a book might not come? Should he toe the line of Ibrahim Babangida and give us a good account? And what implication does this have for the Igbo people's sense of justice?
Well, for me, there's a lot of things that people don't know. When the 1966 coup happened, Gowon wanted to run away. Gowon was asking for secession. It was the North that started asking for secession before the South. Understand? Gowon and his people want to exit from this country. They were asked, what they were shouting there was Araba, Araba, Araba. It was the British government that told them, don't exit. Now the country is in your hand. Power has been entrusted to you. Understand? Why are you running away? Why power is now in your own hands? So, from time, Gowon has not been a courageous person.
Okay, you don't expect him to write a book?
Writing a book does not make any meaning. I say, or the massacre he caused in the East is now happening in his own state, under his own eyes. That's why I said, with what you measured unto others will be measured unto you.
All right, time really fast spent. I would have loved to also talk about the situation in the APC where during a National Executive Committee meeting at the APC National Secretariat in Abuja, National Chairman Abdullahi Ganduje revealed that the All Progressive Congress inherited debt totaling over 8 billion naira. This financial burden stems from legal expenses linked to pre-election disputes and various election related cases. And with the APC inheriting such amount, about 9 billion naira in debt, and what long-term impact could this financial burden, have all the party's ability to function effectively. But these are just...
Or the central bank is now part of APC, so
they will not.
They are not looking for money anymore. It's an account that he is giving. So APC is no more complaining of money because central bank is now part of APC.
Why do you say that? Because the current government is under APC?
Cardoso is an APC member. So whatever money they want will be given that to them. If it's not in the central bank, World Bank is there. They can borrow money and give to APC.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Anosike, for being awesome on the show this evening. Quite a very interesting note to really bring at the end of this conversation. Of course, you've been awesome on the show this evening.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and of course, I apologize to the fact that Mr. Jai could not finish with us and not also starting with us, but he did his bit by trying his best. But we apologize
for form's sake. Now listen, this is the main deal I've been waiting for. At a later encounter with Garuba, Ogundibe said, go back and ask them the minimum condition they, the northern mutineers, are prepared to give to stay in Nigeria. Once more, Joseph Garuba got into his Land Rover and drove to Ikeja. As he was leaving, a call came in from Onitsha. It was who? Lieutenant Colonel Ojukwu, military governor of the Eastern region. Ogundibe took the telephone. Now let's listen. Pay close attention. Hello, what's happening? Where is the Supreme Commander? Ironsi, Ojukwu asked. Nobody knows where the Supreme Commander has been taken to. He and Lieutenant Colonel Fajri were arrested in Ibadan yesterday. The northern troops have staged a counter coup. They have sent their families back to the north and they want to break up the country. Ojukwu now responded, is it not possible for you to become the Supreme Commander? You are the next most senior officer in the army. I will then. Ogundibe interrupted him and said, forget it. An ordinary soldier will not obey me. I will announce my support for you. This is Ojukwu talking now. I will announce my support for you within 30 minutes of your announcing your takeover. Ogundibe said, listen, Ojukwu, forget that. We are presently negotiating with the coup makers to find out what they want. Keep in touch. Ojukwu now screamed, come on, shouted Ojukwu into the telephone. Brigadier Ogundibe held the receiver. That is, as at that time, he's walkie-talkie. Now held the receiver away from his face. Take a risk at them. He now, carried the receiver towards the soldiers. And he told Ojukwu, shout at them. Go on the air and say something. Go on the air and say something. There was silence from Ogundibe's side. He was thinking to himself, it is my life on the line, not yours. So this is what Ogundibe thought in his heart. Ojukwu continued. Tell the country you are the next most senior officer. You do not know where the Supreme Commander is, but you are trying to put the situation under control. Are you still there? Because he was silent. Ojukwu asked him, are you still there? After a long pause, yes, I am here. I will do that, Ogundibe replied. Now, after that conversation with Ojukwu, Brigadier Ogundibe did a broadcast throughout the country, declaring a state of emergency for Lagos, Abeokuta, and Ibadan. Those of you that have read the peripheral part of this story, you know this declaration as at that time, and saying that things would soon return to normal. Lieutenant Colonel Ojukwu got back to Brigadier Ogundibe as soon as he had listened to the broadcast at 2:30 p.m. Ojukwu called back. That is not what I meant. Ojukwu told Ogundibe, that is not what I meant. Say something strong. Say you are stepping into Ironsi's shoe. And that's it. Brigadier Ogundibe just listened, not getting satisfaction. Ojukwu dropped the telephone. Later that evening, Brigadier Ogundibe recorded another message to the nation, calming everyone and saying there was now no cause for alarm since everything was under control. David Ejo telephoned from Benin wanting to know what was going on. The chief of staff, Ogundibe, told him what he had told Ojukwu. Then Lieutenant Colonel David Ejo, why haven't you taken over them? The chief of staff explained the situation. Now, but I am sure the rest of the members of the Supreme Military Council would support you. Ogundibe replied, thank you, David, but it is no use. We will keep you informed, or you will find out what we work out with the coup makers. When the phone call was over, Brigadier Ogundigbe took a piece of paper and wrote a letter of resignation from the army and sent it to the Ministry of Defense. He then drove to his house. At a later date, the telephone rang. Murtala Muhammad picked it up, then turned to Yakubu Gowon. It is Ojukwu. Now, this is the conversation between Gowon and Ojukwu. I need you all to listen. It is Ojukwu. He wants to speak to you. Why Murtala said that, he covered the mouthpiece of the phone, looked at Gowon directly and said to Gowon, now, I want to know every word he says to you before you reply. That is what Murtala Muhammad told Gowon. Beautiful. The others in the room, in addition to Gowon and Murtala Muhammad, Justice Mohammed Bello, Shitu Alao of the Air Force, Buba Usman of Military Intelligence, nodded in agreement. So they agreed with Murtala Muhammad. Quickly, Gowon could be kind. He was not the kind of ruthless person who should deal with these people. Thought Murtala Muhammad. That was what Murtala Muhammad thought in his heart. The only way to ensure that he did not make any commitment which they could not accept was to monitor every word that he had to say. The telephone conversation was therefore very slow. Ojukwu was recording the conversation. What is going on? Ojukwu asked. Gowon narrated the incidents of the last few days as innocently as possible, using the passing tense to maintain ambiguity. The other ranks, mutiny and deaths have occurred. The Supreme Commander and the military governor of the West were arrested and nothing is known of their whereabouts. So what is being done? The most senior officer is, this is Ojukwu talking now, the most senior officer is Brigadier Ogundigbe. Let him step in and restore order until we find out what has happened to the Supreme Commander. That is Ironsi. Gowon said that is out of the question. Ojukwu now said why? Gowon continued. The boys who organized the revolt insist that they want the North to go separate. This is Gowon who said it. Heaven did not fall. Ojukwu now said, well, Gowon continued. They said I should step in as head of state and supreme commander of the armed forces. Ojukwu now told him, you can take over Lagos, but definitely not in the east. I have already been in contact with all Ojukwu, this is Gowon saying now, I have already been in contact with all the other members of the Supreme Military Council and they agreed that I should take over. Ojukwu now said that is impossible. There are other senior officers in the army, in the armed forces, including the armed forces. The line of succession would have been something like this. Ojukwu now mentioned them. Commodore Way, head of the Nigerian Navy, Brigadier Ogundigbe, who had already resigned from the army, Colonel Adeyinka Adebayo, who would have been as unacceptable as Ogundigbe, Lieutenant Colonel Bassi, Lieutenant Colonel Imo, Lieutenant Colonel Njoku, who would be anathema to the mutineers because you already engaged them in Ibadan. Don't forget. Then came in alphabetical order Lieutenant Colonel David Ejo, Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Gowon, Lieutenant Colonel Odumegu Ojukwu. Both Gowon and Ojukwu had been promoted to the level of Lieutenant Colonel on the same date of April 1st, 1964. And that's about 2 years prior to this time. That's about 2 years. Listen, Ojukwu continued. If you want to take over simply as chief of staff of the army and only as such in Lagos so that you can bring the situation under control, I shall cooperate with you so that Ogundigbe or whoever is next in seniority can assume power. As I said earlier, Gowon replied, the other governors have agreed to my takeover. But there is no governor in the West, answered Ojukwu. Ojukwu told him, but there is no governor in the West because Ogundigbe have resigned. Gowon said, all the same, I have talked to someone who can answer for the West and he agrees with my taking over. Ojukwu told him, I do not recognize you as Supreme Commander, insisted Ojukwu. I am making a statement to the nation later tonight. Anyway, Ojukwu dropped the telephone and switched off the tape recorder. He got up and lit a cigarette. There was no way he would blah 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 blah. Beautiful. Now my question when I get to ask, you see, the rest of the army colonel, major generals, then when they mention for the list, where were they? Because in the whole saga now only Ojukwu now we see. The rest of them they're showing them all of them. We didn't hear anything from them. And be it as it may, the East already make alliance with the West. You see, I say Ojukwu call Baba Tunde Ogundigbe say, take over. I am behind you. David Ejo from Midwestern region already move along with him. So the East, Midwest, and then West, they were already together. But Ogundigbe no gree declare himself because of fear. Because of fear, Ogundigbe resign, leave Nigeria to carry him own thing by itself, no consign am. But Ojukwu was fearless. He had to call Gowon, and the same Gowon wey no wan use here say Ojukwu mentioned disintegration. The same Gowon use him own mouth announce and say the northern soldiers said that they want the north to leave Nigeria. As at the time he was canvassing for them, no be crime o. Nobody call for any rain o. But the moment Ojukwu mentioned it, why would he mention it? For what? Who gave him the effrontery? Is he a human being? And some of us they don't twist our mind. We dey online, they write all manners of terrible narrative, write lies. I don't know wetin I want gain from lies. I don't know wetin I want gain. Just as life may have it. You see Murtala Mohammed, una see the way it end, ba? Few years later, you shoot by the gun. You go by the gun also. And I tell you, if you no gree push yourself off all this unnecessary tribal bigotry, unnecessary tribal ego, una get whenever fetch you 1 naira, until then you chichichi you chon. We no dey pray o. I no go fit fool una.
Thank you so much for watching the program. I appreciate you for your patience to watch from beginning to end. I hope you have learned a lot from this very program that I just played, this video. Please like and share the video. Share to all platforms. After sharing the video, now you can go to the comment section and put down your comments. Whatever suggestions, contributions you have to make, what do you think about the video I just played? Go to the comment section and put your comment. I will go through the comment section, and I bet you I am learning a lot from there, and you can equally learn from there. Let us share our experience on that comment section. Thank you so much, and stay blessed. Don't forget to share, and we continue to bless you as you share. Biafra government, peace, progress, unity, and equity. We move. Airborne.